Amelia, why were you ignoring me at our family dinner last night? You made an irritated face when I tried to talk to you. You avoided answering my questions, and then you locked yourself in your room after dinner. What was that all about? Hi, Aunt Gianna. It's been a while. This is how my sister raised you? Into a disgraceful girl who doesn't even know the simplest manners, like greeting your aunt? I'm so disappointed in you, Amelia. I thought your ill-mannered behavior would change as you got older, but no. You're still a pathetic excuse for a human being. Your mother must be very disappointed in you. Auntie, I'm not sure why you always have to say such negative things about me whenever we meet. It makes me feel uncomfortable and defensive. And it's one of the reasons why I try to avoid making contact with you. I know that we don't always see eye to eye, but I would appreciate it if you could try to be more supportive and kind. Negative things to say about you? It's constructive criticism, don't you get it? I tell you, that closed-minded attitude of yours won't get you anywhere far in this life. When the elders teach you something, it's best to listen to them and take it to heart. Don't get all defensive and dismiss what they say like that. Well, if you weren't so intrusive and caused so much trouble for me and my family, I wouldn't be so close-minded to you. The last time you came to our house, you destroyed my mom's favorite antique wall clock, ruined our pumpkin sprouts, and killed some of our chickens by feeding them unknown substances. Oh, Amelia, you're such a nitpicker. I'm sure that's why you're single and living with your parents after all these years. What an epitome of failure. But it's understandable. Who would be foolish enough to even think of having a romantic relationship with you? What a misfortune for my sister to have given birth to you. You're a burden to everyone around you. Look, Aunt Gianna, I believe it's not your place to judge my personal life. It's true that I've been living with my parents to help them take care of their farm, but that's my choice. I'm glad that I can help my parents out, and I don't need you to tell me what to do with my life. I'm happy with the way my life is, so I don't need your approval. Oh, please. It's time for you to move on from your parents' farm and start your own life. Stop wasting your life cleaning up after filthy pigs, feeding chickens, or growing some useless plants. If you keep staying on that farm forever, you're gonna end up a nobody, stuck in this tiny town, working the same menial jobs and never amounting to anything. You need to get out there and see the world. Stop mooching off your parents to get by every day. I'm not mooching off of anyone. I do my fair share of work by helping my parents manage their farm, and I get paid accordingly. I'm not sure why you think I'm just taking advantage of my parents, but it's not true. Oh, please. Don't give me that farming is a noble profession shtick and make it seem like it's something to be proud of. We both know how poor and uneducated farmers are. In fact, only the lowest of the low class in our society are farmers. If you want to see what it means to be truly successful, then just take a look at my daughter, Lisa. She's got it all. Brains, beauty, and a drive that's unmatched. I taught her to be independent from when she was very little and even managed to help her get into a prestigious college in New York. The tuition was quite expensive, but it was worth it to see my little girl thrive and become the girl of every man's dream. And why are you saying all these things to me? Why am I saying all these things to you? Have you even been listening to me this whole time? If you were less entitled and looked up to your cousin more, you might not be so miserable. But who am I kidding? You're always gonna be a whiny, entitled brat. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Lisa is getting engaged to her boyfriend Hudson tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I'd like to invite you and your family to come and enjoy the party with us. Lisa is getting engaged to Hudson? That's great news. I've talked to Hudson a few times, and he seems like a great guy. I know Lisa will be very happy with him. But why didn't you tell me about the engagement sooner? It's a little short notice, you know. I was going to inform you about it sooner, but then I realized, what's the point? You and your family are probably too poor to afford to come anyway. What? What do you mean by that? Look, the engagement party will be held in New York, as Hudson's family lives there. Of course, your impoverished and stingy family wouldn't pay a single dime to travel all the way to New York to join us. New York is such a big city, and everything is extremely expensive. Your family's income in 1 year wouldn't be enough to cover the basic necessities to stay in New York for a few days. let alone preparing an engagement gift for your cousin Lisa. We only accept cash for gifts, by the way. I mean, who would even think of bringing a gift that wasn't cash? That would be so gauche. And why do you think that we can't afford to travel to New York? What do you think, dear? You and your parents are all farmers, aren't you? That must mean you're all so flat broke that you usually have to go to bed hungry and are one step away from living on the streets. There's no way you could ever afford to pay for a trip to New York. It's simply out of your family's reach. But as your aunt, I still feel the need to extend an invitation to you and your family to my daughter's engagement party. After all, it's always good to have extra help cleaning up after the festivities. So please, do come if you can, but don't expect me to pay for your trip. Look, I appreciate the invitation, but I'm afraid I can't join the party. My boyfriend Chris had already planned a vacation for me and my family, and we're leaving tomorrow. We would come if you had given us more notice, but unfortunately, Chris has already paid for the flights and hotel reservations, so there's not much I can do to alter our plan. Wait, what? You have a boyfriend? Since when? Why was I kept in the dark about it? That's totally unfair to me. Well, you never gave me a chance to talk about it. Every time we meet, you're always going on and on about how great your family is, how successful Lisa is, and how superior you are to me. It's not like you care the slightest about what I have to say anyway. Okay, I get it. No need for such harsh words. The one thing I'm most interested in right now is your boyfriend. Tell me, what does he look like? What does he do for a living? Oh, I do hope your boyfriend is not some kind of worthless farmer like you or your parents. That would be just too tragic, wouldn't it? First of all, farmers are not worthless, and they need to be treated with respect. Without them, we would have nothing to eat. Second of all, Chris is not a farmer. He's an entrepreneur. Currently, he's working as the CEO of a family-owned supermarket chain. My parents' farm has been a long-time supplier of fresh meat and vegetables to Chris's family's supermarket. Our two families have developed a close bond over the years, and our relationship has only grown stronger since Chris and I started dating. You're dating the CEO of a supermarket chain? Seriously? No way, I don't believe you. You're lying. You're definitely lying. A bumpkin like you is destined to live alone in destitution for the rest of your life. No one in their right mind would want to be with you. Only an idiot would think of such a ridiculous idea. Auntie, you know I'm not one to lie, especially about something as important as this. I've told you the truth, and it's up to you whether you choose to believe me or not. Oh, I know. You must have tortured him into saying yes to dating you, or maybe you trapped him with a baby that's not even his. Those are the only two explanations I can come up with for why someone like Chris would ever agree to go out with you in the first place. I mean, what else could it be? You're a bumpkin from the sticks, and he's the head of a supermarket chain. It just doesn't make any sense. Of course you wouldn't understand. You're always so quick to judge others, and you never seem to be able to see the good in anyone. If you stopped being so focused on yourself and your own daughter, maybe you could see things more clearly once in a while. But this is simply not right! Lisa's husband is only a manager. That's nothing compared to your boyfriend's position. I can't accept this. Your life can't be better than my daughter's life. I'll go and have a word with Lisa about this. Amelia, I heard you'd already come back from your family trip with Chris. I bet it must have been fun. Did you enjoy it? Of course. Both our families joined us on the trip. Hawaii has stunning beaches and rainforests, and we had a wonderful time together. That's great to hear, honey. I'm glad you liked it. Did you mention Lisa to Chris as I told you? I hope you did, because I would be really disappointed if you didn't. Well, I did mention Lisa to Chris, saying she's my cousin, and that was it. Seriously, what was up with you bombarding my phone with all those texts and calls about introducing Lisa to my boyfriend? You know, I had to switch my phone to airplane mode to avoid your constant disturbance. Of course I had to remind you. After all, Chris will soon be a part of our family. So it's important for him to know everyone in the family, don't you think? Well, yeah, maybe. By the way, I heard that Lisa's engagement party was called off at the last minute. What happened? I'm really sorry to hear it. It was quite unfortunate. I hope that she'll be able to reschedule the party soon. Reschedule the party? Ha! As if! There's simply no way I'm going to let my precious daughter throw her life away by getting engaged to a man like Hudson. He's a loser, a bum, and a complete waste of space. I'm glad we got rid of him before it was too late. My daughter deserves so much better than him. Whoa, what's with all those judgments? I don't see anything wrong with Hudson. He seems like a decent guy and all. He's not worthy of my daughter. End of discussion. I mean, he's plain looking, doesn't have a strong family background, and most important of all, he's just a manager of a small company. What does that good-for-nothing boy have to offer my daughter? Why are you saying such hurtful things? It's not like being a manager is easy. It's a demanding and important position. And I know Hudson has worked very hard to get where he is. But it's simply not good enough. My perfect daughter deserves so much more than that. She deserves to marry a real man, a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company for the very least. She can't just settle for a manager. That would be a complete waste of her potential. Look at how perfect she is. She's destined for greatness, and she's going to achieve amazing things. She's entitled to live an easy, comfortable life. That's why she can't be stuck with a nobody like Hudson. It's not fair to her at all. So, you and Lisa are just going to conveniently abandon Hudson because he doesn't live up to your expectations of material comfort? If someone gets engaged and married to someone, it's for real love, not for anything else. But I guess that doesn't matter to you, does it? Love? Please. In what dream world are you living, Amelia? Can love fill your stomach every day, give you clothes to wear, or provide you with a roof over your head? Of course not. And of course, Lisa feels the same way. She's not stupid after all. That's why we wisely decided to dump Hudson as soon as possible so that my precious daughter can find herself a new suitable husband who's actually worthy of her time. Thank goodness Lisa hasn't gotten married to Hudson yet, or else she'd be in big trouble. She'd be living in poverty or even have to beg for money to get by. What a disaster that would have been. I'm afraid you're being a bit overdramatic, Auntie. I'm sure that a man like Hudson would never let his family live in poverty. He seems like a humble and hardworking man. And he even told me last time we talked that he's willing to work hard to get promoted to a higher position so he can provide for Lisa with everything she's ever wanted. Nonsense! As if he would ever become a CEO like your boyfriend. But enough about that. Make sure your mother cooks something delicious for us tonight because Lisa and I are coming over for dinner. I'm sure she wouldn't want to disappoint us. I already informed your mom about us coming over, so there shouldn't be a problem. Oh, okay. If my mom already agreed to it, then I have nothing else to say about it.
Sweet summer child, Amelia, from the bottom of my heart, I advise that you wisely give up on Chris and leave him to me. He already admitted that he is deeply and totally in love with me. Guess he finally realized where his heart lies now. I mean, it's so obvious, isn't it?
Lisa? What are you talking about?
Duh, I'm talking about Chris, your boyfriend. Who else could you possibly think of? You're such an idiot. No wonder Chris lost all of his interest in you. Now, he only has his eyes on me. I'm the one and only girl for Chris. What you need to do is admit defeat and get out of my way so that Chris and I can be together.
Lisa, I don't quite get you. Why did Chris tell you he's in love with you? That doesn't make sense to me. We talk every day, and he's never said anything like that to me. I think there must be some misunderstanding.
Oh, Amelia, how could you get this far in life when you're such an airhead? What I'm asking you is there any man who cheats on his girlfriend and then admits that he's cheating? Of course not, you silly goose. Even a complete and utter idiot wouldn't do something like that. And Chris is not stupid. He's the CEO of his family's company. So, Of course he would keep his cheating a secret from you. Now, dear. If you really loved Chris, you would let him go so that he can be with his true love, me. Surely you know that I'm the one he's meant to be with. There's no doubt about it.
Lisa, I think you must be mistaken. There's no way Chris would cheat on me. In fact, he proposed to me on our family vacation in front of my parents. We're currently in the process of planning our wedding.
What? Chris proposed to you and you're getting married? No way. I don't believe it. There's no way he would propose to you. That sort of thing would only happen in your dreams. You're just lying to make yourself look like you're in control, but we all know that Chris stopped loving you a long time ago. In fact, he's already talked about getting married to me, but we can't do that yet because you're still in the way. But don't worry, we'll get rid of you soon enough. Chris really loves me, and we deserve each other. So you'd better disappear from our lives completely because you're a burden for both of us.
Lisa, look, I seriously don't understand what you're thinking right now. But the man you're talking about is definitely not the Chris I know, okay? He's a loving, considerate man who loves me and has never given me any reason to doubt his loyalty. We're getting married soon, so there's no way that he would betray me. So please, just stop talking about this.
Oh, poor Amelia. She thinks you're so special that her boyfriend would stay loyal to her forever and they would live happily ever after. What a naive little girl. Guess what? Men always cheat, especially when they have found themselves a young and beautiful girl like me. And you? I bet you don't even dare look at yourself in the mirror because you're just so ugly that you'd have a heart attack if you saw yourself.
But how do you explain Chris proposing to me and even helping organize our wedding? If he really wants to be with you, then why would he have to put himself through so much trouble?
Well, maybe, I don't know. I can't think of a reason right now. Wait, I got it. I know what he's gonna do and it's such a brilliant plan. I gotta give him credit for coming up with such a genius idea.
What? What is it?
Oh, honey, don't you worry. Chris would never dream of marrying you. He's just going to use your wedding as an opportunity to embarrass you in front of everyone. He'll let you think you're the star of the show, all dressed up in your nice dress and giving your inspirational speech. And then, just when you think you've won, he'll drop the bomb. He doesn't want to marry you, and the real love of his life is me. It will be so humiliating, you'll never live it down. But hey, at least you'll have a funny story to tell your grandkids. If you'll ever have one.
How is that even possible?
Oh, that's not all. He's going to be on his knees in front of everyone, proposing to me. You can either stay and watch how happy we are together, or you can run away crying like the baby you are. Imagine how romantic my wedding with Chris would be. What a great plan you came up with, Chris. I think he wants to make sure that you know your place and never bother us again.
Are you being serious? That doesn't sound right at all.
I know, right? I can't imagine that Chris would be capable of devising such an ingeniously evil plan. Who would have predicted? The guy who always seemed so nice and normal is actually a diabolical mastermind. Because he's more brilliant and more of a jerk than I thought he would be. I have to get myself a nice dress for when Chris embarrasses you in front of everyone and actually proposes to me. It will definitely become the epic moment of the century. No doubt about that. I bet you'll be so stunned that you'll faint right on the spot. And then everyone will start laughing and you'll realize that you've been the butt of Chris's joke all along. Goodness. I can't wait to see your hilarious expression when Chris laughs in your face and proposes to me. I'm sure it will be priceless. I can't even hold my excitement. I'm so giddy. I'm going to have to prepare myself for a good laugh.
Okay. I honestly don't have a clue what's going on right now. I may go and have a word with Chris to see how he explains all of this.
Yeah, go ahead and do it for me. I'm not gonna stop you. To be honest, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I'd be boiling mad if you confronted him about his plan, because it would ruin the fun for everyone. I mean, who wants to see you sniveling and crying like a baby? But, suit yourself. In any case, I'll become Chris's wife, and you'll be the laughingstock of the entire world. I'm warning you, even if you come crawling on your knees, begging for Chris to get back together with you, I won't allow it to happen. Chris is mine, and mine only, and no one can take him away from me.
Amelia, explain to me exactly what happened at the wedding. It was supposed to be my daughter's wedding, but how on earth did it turn out to be yours instead? I seriously don't understand. I demand a clear explanation from you. What are you talking about? It was never Lisa's wedding to begin with. Couldn't you see what was written on the invitation? It was my wedding with Chris, not Lisa's. But why wasn't it Lisa's wedding? It doesn't make any sense at all. Lisa told me that Chris was gonna propose to her during the wedding and kick you out of it. That's why she put on a beautiful wedding dress, got her hair and makeup done perfectly, just so that she could get on stage for Chris to propose to her and give her the wedding ring she always deserved. But none of that happened. Instead, everyone stared at her as if she had just landed from another planet, simply because she was wearing a white wedding dress and veil? I am literally crying from laughter. Please stop texting me or I will actually fall off my chair. What? What's so funny about that? Are you out of your mind? How could you laugh at your own cousin's misery like that? That's not nice of you at all. Don't force me to tell your mom about this. Look, I don't know where Lisa got that idea from, but Chris never had any intention of proposing to her at all. In fact, I think she's been deluding herself into believing that my husband actually loves her and wants to dump me for her. Why isn't it true? What would you ever have that my daughter can't offer? No! I cannot accept this. My daughter never loses to anyone, especially you. I mean, come on. Chris and I have been together for years, and we're very happy together. There's no way he would leave me for Lisa. I think Lisa needs to wake up and realize that Chris is not interested in her. I'm 100% certain that I saw my daughter Lisa texting Chris. I was in the kitchen when I saw her phone light up with his name. I watched as she typed out a message and then hit send. There is no way that I could have been mistaken. In fact, I was the one who gave Lisa Chris's phone number in the first place. And where did you get that phone number from? I don't remember giving you Chris's number. Well, it was a long story, but the other day when I had dinner at your house, I kinda went into your room and I saw a small note on which you wrote the name Chris and a phone number next to it. The note also contains a huge red mark, which made me think that it must be important. So I guess it must be your husband's number, and... Oh no, you didn't! This is bad. This is really, really bad. What? What's bad? That Chris isn't my husband. He's the guy I met back when I was in high school. He's heavily delusional, and he always thinks that every girl he meets has feelings for him. He thought I was totally into him, even though I made it clear that I wasn't interested. He'll hit on any girl he sees, and he always thinks they're into him. He's a creep, literally. You must be kidding me. So my daughter was actually talking to another guy this whole time? That must be it. I feel sorry for Lisa for getting involved with Chris. I know the kind of man he is, and he won't stop harassing and stalking the girl he targets. I've blocked him so many times, but he keeps changing his number and bombarding my phone. After I changed my number, he even came to my house and made a scene, claiming that he wouldn't leave until I agreed to be his girlfriend. His harassment only stopped after I reported him to the police. No! If that's the case, then my daughter is in serious trouble. What should I do? This is not fair to me and her at all. Please do something. Amelia, I know there have been quite a few misunderstandings between us, and I'm so sorry for that. But can you please give your husband to your cousin, Lisa? The truth is, Lisa is saddled with a huge student loan debt, and her grades were so bad for her to stay in college, so she dropped out about a year ago. Without a proper degree, she can't get a decent job, and she'll come back and rip off my and your uncle's money. Please, Amelia, you have to help us. Lisa needs a well-off husband that she can rely on. Now the truth comes out, huh? And you still have the audacity to ask me to give my husband to Lisa? Honestly, I want to act like I have some sympathy for you, but honestly, I don't have any of that. You're the one who barged into my room without my consent and gave the wrong phone number to your daughter. You always looked down on me and my parents, but the moment you heard about my Chris's job title, you and your daughter came up with an evil plan to steal him from me, hoping to sabotage my relationship with my husband. But guess what? Life is not a playground where you can do whatever you want without consequences. If you do something that's against morality, sooner or later you will have to face the music. The universe has a way of balancing itself out, and those who sow discord will eventually reap the whirlwind. You created this mess with your own 2 hands, so you should be the one who resolves it. Lisa, a materialistic person, had failed to steal Chris from me. She then decided to come back to Hudson, begging him to take her back. However, Hudson knew that Lisa was only interested in him for his money and status, so he said no. He told her that it was too late for apologies and that she had made her bed. When Lisa got in touch with Hudson, she found out that he had already gotten married to another girl. She was also angry to learn that he had gotten a pay raise for his hard work. Having a hard time dealing with a huge student loan, Lisa returned home to her mother, Gianna, for help. However, Gianna was not sympathetic. She had misunderstood that Lisa was about to marry a wealthy man like Chris, and she and her husband had immediately quit their jobs, thinking that they would no longer have to work. Gianna was furious when she found out that Lisa wasn't going to marry Chris. She berated Lisa for not being more responsible and for not planning for her future. She told Lisa that she was on her own and that she would not be getting any help from her. Lisa is still struggling to make ends meet. She has a huge debt to pay off, and her mother is constantly harassing her for money. To make matters worse, Lisa is also being harassed by Chris. He's just as delusional as before, thinking that Lisa was his girlfriend. He constantly calls and texts her, and he even shows up at her house unannounced. My life keeps on thriving with my husband Chris by my side. He's my rock, and he's always there for me, supporting me in every decision I make. He helps me to understand the business side of things, and together I know that we'll create a sustainable future for our family.